So as I mentioned before, we have the lining that we need in garments that we don't really consider outerwear garments. We want them to be soft. We want them to react as leather does, where it adheres to the body and we don't destroy the feeling of the leather, but we also maybe want to protect not having that stuff come off underneath. So the next solution in considering the leathers you're choosing are we do have leathers where the inside is finished as well as the outside. And in this particular piece, which I'm sure you've seen me wear, I have this double fold situation where the back of the jacket, which is a different leather than the front of the jacket, the back of the jacket is actually a stretch leather. And a stretch leather by its very nature, is bonded to a cotton lycra fabric. So it's got fused to it a fabric that makes the inside of the leather clean. You have that, so it's almost self-lined and it can keep its lightness. The same thing here with this little jacket, which is also a stretch leather, and it's bonded to a cotton lycra background, which is what gives it its stretch. And so you can have a very lightweight little jacket, and it's self-lined because it's the stretch leather. This jacket, which I just told you, has the stretch leather in the back, but it didn't have the stretch leather in the front. It had this beautiful laser cut leather, which you want to be light, but if you leave it like this, it would have crocked, and the word is crock, when all that little nappy stuff comes off on your clothes. So you think, well, what do you want to do? I don't want to block up the perforations of the leather. I don't want to stop the softness of the leather, but I would prefer not to have it come off all over the inside of my clothes. So in this case, one of the options is I fused it myself to the tricot interfacing. That's the very lightweight interfacing, not the woven one that gives it body. This just gives it looks almost like a chiffon-y effect. And I choose black because then when you see the outside, the holes still look like holes. If you put a green, it would fill in the look of the holes. If you put a white, it definitely would look terrible, but the black makes the holes still look like holes. They're slightly transparent, and this is very soft, so it doesn't really change the feel of the dress, but it gives a protection so that nothing is coming off. So this piece then has the marriage of the fused leather that comes that way, and then I will sometimes fuse it with the lightweight tricot interfacing, the tricot, not the woven. And this piece now is, maybe it's 10 years old, I think, at this point, and it retained the softness. It didn't change the structure of the leather, and so this tricot fusing helps a lot. So this is another way to handle pieces that are not outerweight pieces that you want to have the same feeling as the natural leather has, but you also want to deal with the practicality of not having someone put on this beautiful jacket and they have a beautiful pair of cashmere pants on and the top of their pants get totally destroyed by the leather jacket. To be continued.